Welcome back to Hidden Source News, your home for honest reviews, deep dives, and everything happening in the world of film and television. If you enjoy smart, spoiler-free coverage of major franchises, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Today, we're diving into a non-spoiler review of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, Episode 1, titled The Hedge Knight. This series is the latest entry in the world of Westeros. This premiere sets the tone immediately and signals that this series is aiming for something very specific and very refreshing. The series is based on the George R.R. Martin Dunk and Egg series. I never read the book, so I come to this series with new eyes and no source materials to compare. The series begins with the titular character, Sir Duncan the Tall, burying his mentor, Sir Arlan of Pennytree, then making his decision to head towards the tournament at Ashford Meadow. Right out of the gate, Episode 1 delivers a grounded, character-driven opening that feels intimate compared to previous Game of Thrones universe shows. Instead of massive battles or political chaos, the episode leans into atmosphere, dialogue, and quiet world-building. The story is very linear, and as Dunk heads to the tournament, we see how he meets Egg. The pacing is confident and deliberate, allowing the story to breathe without feeling slow. Egg is quick-witted and charming, as the first encounter is both funny and personal. It's clear the creators want viewers to connect with the characters before raising the stakes. Egg offers his services as a squire, but is refused at first by Dunk. As the episode continues, unlike Game of Thrones, it doesn't give huge worlds to follow or a large cast of characters to follow. This is basically the titular character's journey, which from the beginning really brought enjoyment for me. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is based on George R.R. Martin's beloved Dunk and Egg novellas and takes place roughly a century before Game of Thrones. The series focuses on Dunk making his way in the world after his mentor passes away and learning what it is to be a knight. In the episode, Dunk is basically a young man with a moral center in a world that has none. Episode 1 does an excellent job establishing who he is and how he will show the world what a man of honor and integrity really is. The world feels lived in, grounded, and deeply human and rotten to Dunk. In the episode, he clearly is a man out of place, but that doesn't deter him from his goals. The cast is one of the episode's biggest strengths, with performances that feel natural and unforced. The leads immediately show strong chemistry, making their interactions believable and engaging. The chemistry between Dunk and Egg is really good together. They make a charming duo that you can't but want more of these two. There's a sincerity to the acting that helps sell the emotional core of the story. Egg, like I said, is my favorite character this episode. The kid is charming and very quick-witted. Even supporting characters leave an impression without overstaying their welcome. I enjoyed Lionel Baratheon in this episode that gives insight as to how his future descendant Robert Baratheon probably inherited his lust for life, so to speak. His interactions with Dunk was one of the funniest of the episode, but also one of enlightenment for Dunk. Tonally, this series feels closer to classic fantasy storytelling rather than epic spectacle. Episode 1 balances warmth, humor, and tension in a way that feels earned rather than manufactured. There's a lot of charm present throughout the episode that, sets it apart from darker entries in the franchise. This approach makes the show feel accessible to new viewers while still rewarding long-time fans of previous entries in the Game of Thrones world. I just love the chemistry between these two characters. From a production standpoint, the episode looks fantastic without relying on excess. Costumes, sets, and locations feel authentic and appropriately worn, which really reinforces the grounded tone of the story. The cinematography favors natural lighting and quiet framing rather than flashy visuals. It's a visual style that supports the narrative instead of distracting from it. Early viewer reactions have been, well, largely positive, with many folks praising the show's restraint and storytelling focus. Fans seem especially pleased with how faithfully the episode captures the spirit of the source material. Newcomers have also responded well to the smaller scale and character-first approach. The general consensus is that this feels like a return to what originally made Westeros compelling. What's impressive is how Episode 1 stands on its own without leaning too heavily on franchise nostalgia. There are familiar elements, but they're woven in naturally rather than used as fan service. The show respects the larger lore while carving out its own identity. This makes it feel like a true expansion of the universe rather than a rehash. Based on this premiere, the series appears to be heading toward a thoughtful, character-driven journey rather than explosive twists. The groundwork is clearly being laid for growth, moral challenges, and evolving relationships. Episode 1 plants subtle seeds that suggest long-term storytelling. If the show stays this focused, it could become one of the franchise's most beloved entries. I'm really happy at the personal tone of this episode, much different than any of the other series that have been set in this world. This is a more intimate story. Overall, Episode 1 of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is a strong, confident start that understands exactly what kind of story it wants to tell. It's heartfelt, well-acted, and refreshingly restrained, offering a new perspective on Westeros. If you're looking for quality storytelling without needing massive spectacle, this series is off to an excellent beginning. I give it a 9 out of 10, and am looking forward for more episodes in this series. It really left me wanting more, much more. Hope you all enjoyed the episode, and please leave a comment. I really would love to know what you all thought of the episode. For more spoiler-free reviews, deep breakdowns, and entertainment news, make sure to like, subscribe, and keep it locked right here on Hidden Source News. I'll see you all next week for Episode 2 review. Have a great week.